Thai fighters hate. Maybe hate is a bit of a strong word. Things Muay Thai fighters find very annoying or are very easily annoyed at, right? Muay Thai fighters, they have their fair share of challenges both in and out of the ring, and most of us, we just learn to deal with the ups and downs of Muay Thai, right? Like anything that you are passionate about, there's always going to be obstacles in the road, there's always going to be ups and downs, and some things just suck, right? Some things just suck, some things are great, but some things are just completely they just feel unacceptable for us. And yeah, disliking things, they can be really subjective, highly individualized. Something that annoys you might not annoy me. Something that annoys me might not annoy you. But I've come up with some common experiences that I believe most of us Muay Thai fighters um, really find annoying slash dislike slash hate. Okay, let's get into it. So the first one, I spoke about this so much on my Instagram, but cutting weight. I don't know a single person that actively enjoys the process of cutting weight, right? So if you don't know, a weight cut involves purely water loss via dehydration methods or water manipulation methods. It's challenging, it's exhausting. During weight cut week, you have no energy, you're thirsty all the time, and it makes sense, right? If you're looking at it from a physiological standpoint, um, cutting weight is bringing your body closer and closer to death. I know it sounds really grim, but that's really what it is, right? Your body is not meant to go without water for long periods of times, and it's certainly not meant for you to purposely get rid of water, right? Your body very much likes being in equilibrium, likes being hydrated, likes being healthy. So weight cuts, definitely the reason why it sucks so much, and one of the reasons why it sucks so much, is because your body is just sending you all these signals of like, help, this isn't right, drink some water. So weight cutting, sometimes people don't do it in a safe manner, and unfortunately, there have been a lot of incidences of people dying from cutting too much weight. Um, so so something to keep in mind, that whether or not you do it safely or easily, dehydration is still dehydration, right? So if you have to cut, try not to cut so much during weight cut week, right? Focus on weight loss instead, preferably before your fight camp. So during your fight camp, you're eating enough to fuel your training. Um, so yeah, the second thing is injuries. This probably speaks for itself. Injuries are frustrating because it forces a lot of fighters to miss fights. You might have to pull out of a fight because of an injury. It happened to me before when I had like a really bad bone bruise in my right arm from not checking kicks. It was for like my third or fourth amateur fight, from not checking kicks, and my I couldn't even open a door. That's how much it hurt. I couldn't open a door. I didn't really have use of my right hand because of how swollen the bone in my arm was. So it can force some of us to miss fights, and also to a lesser degree, it also forces us to miss training, right? So if you have like a minor injury, like you stubbed your toe, you might not be able to kick properly or spar, or if you have like a bum shoulder, you might not be able to do much at all. So for a lot of us, going to the gym consistently is really important, and it's in our sense of routine, and not being able to be in that sense of routine, it definitely makes us feel like really off balance. And injuries are really common too. Like if you think about it, Muay Thai is it's a contact sport, right? People, the rules are based on like people trying to hurt each other and hit each other. So of course injuries are common. So sitting on a sidelines is definitely difficult for a lot of us. But just know that if you do have an injury, take care of it from the beginning so that it won't bother you later on when you don't need it to. Number 3, losing. Yeah, losing sucks, and I don't think there's a single fighter that wouldn't agree with it. But of course, all of us agree with it to varying degrees, right? So the person who believes that winning is everything, and if they didn't win, all of their work went to waste and they disappointed everyone, yeah, losing is going to suck way more compared to the person who um, did the fight mostly to learn. And yeah, it sucked that they didn't win, but they had a lot of fun, and they're going to take a lot of the lessons as to why they lost into their next fight camp and their next fight. So yeah, winning is not imperative to become successful, believe it or not, and it's not even necessary to become better, right? Winning is, I always say, it's like the cherry on top of the icing, like the cherry on top of the whatever it is, right? At the end of the day, Muay Thai is still competitive, and no one trains to lose, right? People train so they can win. People train according to the system, the scoring system, so that they can get the judge's decision. So losing can be really disappointing and frustrating because people put a lot of time and effort into their training, and losing could feel like very demotivating. Onto the next point that has to do with fighters putting so much of their time and effort into training is bad judges' decisions, right? Because we put so much of ourselves into a fight camp, when a judge doesn't know what they're looking at, or when a judge is biased for whatever reason, right? Maybe nationality, or the gym that they train off, or maybe they don't like their coach, or whatever it is, right? When judges favor fighters for whatever reason, they're compromising that system, right? The system of, okay, two fighters, we're going to train our hardest and give it our best, and then the better fighter wins, or the fighter who can score more or follows the rules better wins, right? So when a judge is subpar, it's almost an attempt to invalidate all the work that the fighters put in. And it feels like something was robbed from you, right? And that's part of the reason why they call it like a robbery, because maybe the better fighter should have won, but it didn't matter because the judge was biased or didn't know what they're looking at for whatever reason. So it would be nice if all judges and officials, referees included, they're fair, unbiased, and they see the fighters as they show up in the ring, not as they show up on social media or in affiliation with the gym or their country or whatever. Nothing less, nothing more. Whatever feelings you want to attach to a fighter outside of the fight, okay, sure, go for it, right? But during the fight, it should just be about the fight, because that's really what their job is. On that topic, I've seen a lot of fights in Thailand, unfortunately, where if the fight was pretty even and it might have even been a draw, they'll give it to the Thai fighter because of, it's Thai judges and Thai officials. So they'll give it to the Thai fighter kind of to like save face in a way. So it's like Muay Thai should belong to the Thai people. I think that's kind of the mentality that some of these fights are going for. But I've also seen some promotions where they would give it to the better looking person or the foreigner, so that they can get like publicity after the fight, when the good looking person or the foreigner or the celebrity even is like, oh, I won my fight, whatever, thank you to so and so. So it's just associated with like a positive experience. Okay, next one. Overtraining. If you've been in this territory, if you've been in overtraining territory, you know exactly how much it sucks and how drained and depressed and all that stuff that you feel, right? I wrote an article from Muay Thai Guy many years ago, and I'll quote from it. People often confuse this term, overtraining, with feeling fatigued. But take note, overtraining is not as simple as that. Its consequences are quite sobering, especially for those who are serious about the progress. So the reason why overtraining is it's a serious detrimental territory that you might head into sometimes. It leads to burnout, injuries, and just to name a few things, right? But also, when you overtrain, you're not progressing. So if let's say you train and you're challenging yourself consistently, then your progress is going to go up. It's going to go up, but then when you get into overtraining territory by not resting enough or by pushing yourself back to back to back to back to back for too long, then you're actually your progress meter and the way that your body responds is that it goes down. So then in a lot of ways you do go backwards. So your cardio gets worse, your recovery gets worse, your sleep gets worse. You're not able to pick up new techniques, all that stuff. If you're still training despite being in overtraining territory, the only thing that it's going to teach you is teach you how to be mentally tough, but it's not going to make you any better as a fighter. Just a PSA for everyone. I personally have been in overtraining territory way too many times. Okay, the last one is sportsmanship, right? Muay Thai, it's characterized by a culture of respect and humility, and people really don't need to have disrespectful behavior towards their opponents before or after a fight. Like I just said, one of the things that draws so many people to Muay Thai, it's the culture of honor and respect, and people having poor sportsmanship is like, are you new here? So poor sportsmanship can involve like trash talking, but even like if one person wants to touch gloves and the other person just hits them, intentional fouls, hitting someone after the bell intentionally. These are not good reflections of the essence of Muay Thai and what Muay Thai culture is as a whole. So to wrap it up, this episode was not intended to complain about a lot of things, but to raise an awareness and create new norms and to encourage change, because the more we know, the more that we're aware of, we can create better, safer, and more supportive environments for all fighters. See you in the next episode.